did you just stumble into this, or were you 'cause in college were you studying film?
Yeah, I went to Emerson, like half the town in here. And I moved out here to work on TV, and I worked on a few cool TV shows. But they kept me on for the summer, which is nice because a lot of shows go on hiatus. And I had nothing to do, and one of the guys I was working with told me about Rogan's podcast, and I heard about Joe. And I've loved stand up for my whole life. Like I've always loved it. So I wrote to Joey on Facebook, and I said I want to work for a comedian, but I don't want to come off as creepy. Do you have any ideas? And we messaged, and yeah, it's been like 7.5 years.
That's amazing.
Wow.
8 years, yeah.
What an incredible sort of mentor for you to have, because
pretty crazy, yeah.
It's wild. Now, okay, so you begin. I mean, were you intimidated because he might be the most intimidating comedian in the world? I mean, he seems like such a nice guy, but also like when you hear his stories, it's like you don't want to fuck with this guy. Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna fuck with any. That's not my person. I'm not. But I was nervous the first couple times we met. But he was very. He's always been nice. Like the first time I went over to his house, I showed him how to post a picture on Twitter, and he called me an unadulterated genius. And I was like, "Oh, that's fun."
No, because it's good. It's good. We like to point out ways that people are sort of like self-actualizing their life, and that's a way where like you literally reached out to some comedy pros asking for like help and being pointed in the right direction. And I feel like a lot of people that listen that want to get their life in a new direction or do things that are not traditional. It's like sometimes you gotta jump over that brick wall and make moves, and that's a huge move that you made. Like he's never gonna find you.
Right, that's true. And I got lucky in a couple ways because a lot of bigger comics will have their person already, so he didn't have anybody. But then I also got lucky because like a lot of people in LA don't want to pay for this sort of stuff. Like at most they'll pay like $20. And it's a joke that I've not even a joke, but something I've told him, which could come off as mean, but he likes it. Is I've done stuff in my most consistent client, and like the guy who works the hardest in LA has been a former felon who kidnapped somebody with a machine gun. like it's pretty crazy, but we've kept it, but we haven't missed a week podcast. We've done it. It'll be 7 years in September.
Wild. Yeah, I couldn't imagine like 6 or 7 years ago where he was at, because as a working comic, and again, I'm sorry, I don't want to make this about him, but it's you know, by you being kind of attached to him, you have the chance to learn so much as a new stand-up comedian.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've been auditing for 7 years.
Yeah. And then you just come in,
but you're about to have your master's degree, right?
I wish. Sometimes I get upset because I've loved comedy. And people would always ask if I was going to do it. I just never thought I was that kind of funny. So I only started about 1.5 years ago. But I feel like because I've been lucky, I've gone to a ton of his shows. I've gone to the store a lot. Like I see how you write a little bit, and I've been able to see some cool shows. So I feel like it's better that I waited. Like I don't think I would have been ready, like, because like sometimes I'm like, oh, if I had started 7 years ago, I'd be featuring on the road now or something. But I try to, like, I don't think I would have had the perspective or would have been as funny back then. So
yeah,
it's so
you
different.
learn so much by listening and watching.
It's so different now. Like a lot of people say that you got to get on the road as fast as you can, but so much hack shit works on the road. Like you might be doing Chuckle Hut in Indiana, and like they'll laugh at like premises before you even go to, like, you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean you're not good. It's just like
no, it does.
It's but it's like you might be a great comic, but like then there's so many road comics that are afraid to work in town here that live in LA. It's incredible how many comics that like have done big name shit are afraid to work in the cities because it's so cutthroat. And like to start in LA, because I started in New York, but I was only there briefly before LA. So like it's not one, or like they're both kind of shit towns to start in because a lot of eyes are on you. But like you've got eyes on you from podcast listeners, but also some of the biggest names in the world who do stand-up that are like, you know, they're probably rooting you on, but that must...
It's not, I mean, it's good and bad. Like, that's why I try to, like, I really try to do, like, last year I did, and a lot of it was at the fourth wall, but I did, like, 460 spots last year.
Wow.
Because I've been lucky enough to do some cool shows that a one-year comic shouldn't be getting. But But like one of the first shows I did was a booked mic in Hollywood, and I put it on Instagram, and 2 people came down, and they were real happy to see me before the show, and it didn't go that well. And after the show, they kind of like didn't even look at me. So like I'm very careful about what I promote, and then I also
you have to be.
I want to do well because I don't want people to be like, oh, and I'm sure people do. People talk regardless, but I try to avoid people saying, oh, he's only getting this because of Joey.
Oh yeah,
So-
absolutely. That's
and everyone gets everything because of help from other people. So it's like
Right.
you're in the end, you have to deliver on stage. So no amount of help is going to get an audience to laugh. It's
Right.
It's not going to help you at all.